This episode of Notorious Talker was absolutely amazing, but there's one thing I can't forgive, and that's what they did to the daughter of the dude who tried to poison and kill us. Unless I'm completely mistaken, which I don't think I am, that was the girl. Did she swear to get vengeance on us? Sure, but I mean, how would anyone feel even if their parents or loved ones did something bad? I mean, at the end of the day, you brutally were gonna do horrible things in front of them. It's natural to have an angry reaction. The fact that the current mafia boss, Albert, ordered these guys to kill a kid, that's bad. Like there's no other way to put it. But what makes it worse is I didn't know what the hell that was. Cause like I thought it was a rusty knife they were holding and like whatever. I was like, oh, maybe that's just like what she defended herself with. No, that's the thing that our boy Noel gave to her before everything happened. And the fact that she clung on to it in her dying moments means that despite the rage she had for Noel in that moment, she still very much respected him. So when temperatures died down and the emotions weren't as flared, she never would have tried to take revenge on Noel. It's crystal clear. Not only did an innocent girl get killed, she never actually wanted to hurt. I am so glad our MC's playing 4D chess, because screw this guy. I have full live reactions over on Patreon, though, if you want to see my full and good thought to any of these episodes, over there exclusively. So, this episode did not go according to plan. That moment alone was such a small aspect, but an incredibly emotionally, well-written one. But the entire idea of what to do here is so interesting, because at the end of the day, had our boy Koga decided to commit to the blow there, Noel would have died. What Noel ended up doing was signaling our girl Alma to come rescue, and sure, that does prevent him from dying, but had he not stopped his blade, he would have won. And it's interesting because we're dealing with an MC who is very strong, but the idea that he comes to the realization in this episode that, the unfortunate truth is there's going to be people he can never reach the same heights. It is just, he wasn't born as strong and have much potential as some of these other people. So what is he going to do instead? He's going to control the strongest. That's his new primary objective. We know Koga's going to be one of those, but it's very interesting how they went about dealing with this mafia don, because the dude's an absolute psychopath. Very 4D chess maneuver, and I think it kind of flexes twofold of why our boy spared his pal in the previous episode. One, because he generally likes the guy, and at the end of the day, probably put in his shoes, he might have done the same thing so he can understand. But number two, and probably the most crucial, he's still going to be useful for him in the future, and as long as he doesn't screw him over willingly because he likes to do it, it's worth keeping the guy around. And we see the payoff for that. Dude investigates and finds out he's not even the legitimate heir to the throne. So what the story was that his mom and the previous mafia don, they got a little down and dirty and he's the bastard child. Turns out she was just some back shots on a Friday night, and that was, well before the actual dad got married to her. And yeah, he's not even the son. And the fact that they're even willing to, here's the thing about this which is so brilliant. They're saying, listen, we're gonna give you the option, because they know he's gonna die no matter what. The dude ain't gonna win. But it's the fact that he also is responsible for the dude dying. He poisoned his drink. And it's just, over the course of this episode, you just get a sense, especially with the one dude who was talking with Koga, I just got the impression, man, this guy seems way too nice for a douchebag like this. Why do we follow? But loyalty is everything to them. The fact that he gives an order in the middle of the, adventurers bar area to just slaughter them all, and they're like, we could. And to be honest, I kind of believe they would be able to, other than maybe Alma. Alma's kind of a wild card, as well as Noel, but Noel, depending on if his speaker skills work or not, is up in the air. But it's the fact that he's like, if you give the order again, we will do it, but you have to understand we'd be shit out of luck if we did this. But you are the boss, we follow loyalty. The fact that we have all this exposed and the 4D chess maneuver. The fact that he bullshitted with the poison too is just so great. So basically he ends up saying that he poisoned the wine that he drank before he came over and gets him out of there. It's a very brilliant move, and the idea that he leaves town for a week. I figured the week time skip was going to be partially into next episode, but no, they just come back and it turns out, okay, our girl was training in the mountains like she's a shonen protagonist, as our boy for a week was getting the information needed, and we deal with everything that's going on. And just the fact that, like, the first thing he hears after is the fact of who got killed. Like, even if you take a step back and assume it wasn't the same girl, it's the fact that it was a little girl, man. Like, what sick bastard goes out of his way to send his minions to kill a child? And then it's the fact that the last time we saw her was that she was so furious with us, rightfully so, put in her shoes. It's the fact that, like, she never actually, like, she still held on to that gift. She very much clearly still appreciated and respected Noel. Like, it's pain the more you think of it. And this is what I keep going back to. This is how you write edge. Edge exists. Like, some people don't like using the word edge. Like, no, I don't think it's edgy. I think it's this. No, edge is something that exists. If you play a video game with gore, there's edge to it. Does it mean it's bad edge? No, but edge exists. You watch Game of Thrones, you watch A Walking Dead, you watch an action movie where someone's limb gets blown off. There's edge to that, but it doesn't mean it has to be edgy as a defining factor. And it's the fact that we go the route, if this was truly an edgy MC, he would have just gave the order to slaughter everyone in that bar because I have no emotions, I blah blah blah. Instead, no, he plays 4D chess. This man's out here trying to play checkers and falling on his face, and we got a man playing 4D chess. The dude is brilliant. He's a really enjoyable MC, and I appreciate that they don't rush in, because I really feel like a lot of anime would have made the trio form like within 3 episodes of everyone meeting each other. But instead, we've actually took a slow burn approach to the Koga storyline, meaning I legitimately am understanding why he's actually... To be honest, the energy I get from him is, I kind of like this Noel guy, Baka. And I love it. I really do, because at the end of the day, dude's never had a proper family. The most father figure he had sold him away, and thank God for his head in the box. Just a great episode across the board, and I'm liking it the more and more I see. By the end of next episode, though, we should have the trio properly formed. It'll be interesting to see where they take it. But let me know your thoughts and feelings about this episode. How emotionally heartbreaking was that daughter's death for you? Because it definitely crushed me and made me damn infuriated. But your thoughts down below. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell. And like I mentioned, we got those full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll just give you a video shout out. So today we got Carlos Henquick, Abraham Valquitz, Duncan Goodwin, FBI, 98 per hour, Just a Micro, Eric Arya, and we also have Lorena Frazier. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you all have a good one.